We're standing in Hunter's store in downtown Pendleton, South Carolina. My name is Les McCloy. I'm the assistant director for Lake Hartwell Country, whose home office is here in Hunter's store. Hunter's store has had a long history and legacy in Pendleton, starting with the General Mercantile in 1850. It's always been one of the main establishments in town. It's made it through generations where others have fallen by the wayside.
Pendleton began as a quintessential frontier settlement after the land was ceded from the Cherokee Nation in 1785. A major turning point for the town was in 1800 when low-country planters started migrating to the area. As the population grew, the town was in need of a general store. In 1850, Pendleton had 20 small plantations, each of which employed 30 slaves on average. This was one of the largest concentrations of slaves in the upstate of South Carolina. Because of this population boom, Hunter's store was built in 1850 by Jesse Lewis to accommodate the needs of the community. James Hunter, a very successful blacksmith, purchased the store in 1860. The significant success that James Hunter experienced blacksmithing speaks to the agricultural nature of the region. He built his wealth by sharpening plows and gardening tools, selling parts for farm equipment, as well as reshoeing horses at a local plantation site. One of his largest customers was John C. Calhoun, the famous father of nullification. Purchasing the store raised him, along with the rest of the Hunter family, to the highly regarded mercantile class. He ran the store with his partner James Long until 1873, when Mr. Hunter bought out Long's share to become the sole owner. After James Hunter died in 1889, the store was then operated by his two sons, James T. Hunter and Miles Hunter. Miles became the sole proprietor in 1896. Under Miles' ownership, the store reached its peak of economic success. Unlike most general stores during this time, Hunter's store sold to both black and white members of the community. It was this way the entire time that the store was open. Some believe this is because James Hunter started with the lower class and therefore had the desire to serve the lower class, which included a significant amount of African Americans. Miles Hunter, however, did keep separate ledgers for the black and white customers. Most everyone purchased essentials from the store like coffee, pork, sugar, and flour, which were staples of Southern life in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Well-to-do members of the community also purchased clothes and shoes, along with some luxury items of the time, like umbrellas and furniture. The store even served as a post office during Miles' ownership. In the late 1800s, most of the customers were white and bought goods in much larger quantities than the members of the black community. For the majority of the black community, goods were bought, sold, and traded at Keese Barn, which was just a block from Hunter's store. This served as the market, cafe, store, and general meeting place for the African American community. This spatial segregation stemmed directly from Jim Crow's laws, which were prevalent at this time. The structure is no longer standing today, as money could not be raised to restore the crumbling site. In 2003, members of the Clemson University Architecture Department took money that was raised to create a monument to commemorate the significance of Keese Barn to the fabric of Pendleton. In 1929, Miles Hunter moved the store across the street. This is believed to be a business move, as the old site of the store became awkwardly placed on a hill due to the digging out of Mechanic Street for the accommodation of automobiles. Miles still wanted his store to be easily accessible to customers, and the new site was on more ground level. Miles passed away in 1939, and the ownership transferred to his son, B.G. Hunter. As a result of the great success of the store during James Hunter's ownership, a large warehouse was constructed behind the store in 1880. Over time, this became storage for the family's personal belongings as well. B.G., for example, was known to have some odd, hoarder-like tendencies, perhaps because of the store's lack of success in the mid-1900s. The store's decline was caused by the changes in American shopping preferences from local stores to large retailers outside of small-town business districts. Multiple local mills around Pendleton closed, and many people left the area. The store officially closed its doors in 1962. In 1968, the original site of Hunter's store was purchased by the Pendleton District Historical, Recreational, and Tourism Commission, today known as Lake Hartwell Country. The commission recently invested a significant amount of money to renovate the original store into a more usable space. These renovations were completed in 2014. The store is believed to be haunted. In 1894, a local man fell off his horse near 18 Mile Creek after a night of drinking and was taken by Miles and James Jr. to the caretaker's room on the second floor of the store. Even though it was a mild spring day that night, there was a cold snap between that lowered the temperature to below freezing. The man died after being left in the room in wet clothes with no heat. This is marked on the doorpost outside of the old caretaker's room. May 19, 1894 is the date that this strange event occurred. Almost exactly 4 years later, on May 21, 1898, there was another cold snap and the ghost was supposedly seen by the Hunter brothers on that night. The markings on the door are believed to be written by the brothers as a symbol of these sightings. Today, this site serves as a visitor center, museum, organizational headquarters, and historical archive for the local region. The warehouse behind the store is now being rented out to local businesses, but has otherwise been maintained and preserved as a landmark in Pendleton. Hunter's store is different compared to similar general stores in the South. It had humble beginnings and experienced great economic success in the 110 years it was in business. This was perhaps because of his willingness to serve people from all walks of life, from the very wealthy to the lower class African Americans and whites. The history of the store is a good representation of Pendleton as the store changed with the population itself over time. Even though the store is no longer in business, it still stands today as a representation of the diversity of Pendleton's people.